Actually, I ain't never noticed. Can you see that I started recording on your end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always wondered that. All right, bet that. All right, what's going on, man? It's your boy Kloth, and I'm back with another video, man. Look, if I'm not starting somewhere, I am not going nowhere. This is going to be another segment of Kloth Talk. Kloth Talk is basically where I just grab the Argo tires from Hypebeast, Complex, and it's revolving around sneakers, fashion, all that jazz that I'm into. But y'all know I don't like to waste y'all time. Let me go ahead and introduce our guest. Something about me, bro. I always try to give flowers and credit where credit is due. And I try to dig back in my mind as far as possible, because I wasn't really big into social media. Funny enough, before I went to college, like I was just like real anti with social media. But I remember coming across your page and I was like, this might be the first person to influence my style in real time. Like, no cap, bro. Like, and I want to show you this picture real quick. I want to show you this picture. It's funny as fuck. Bro, ain't no reason in my life that I ever think that I'd be rocking ZX Fluxes from Adidas, bro. And I remember you had it like,
wow,
like, bro, like when I saw you rocking it too. I tried. Thank you. Thanks. Like ZX Fluxes, bro. And I remember, like, I forget what it was. It was, I think you was like on a trip or something. Like, this is like a long time ago. But you had like this yellow jacket and then you had these denim shorts, but they had like this embroidered like Adidas logo on the back of them. And I was like, bro, I spent so much time trying to find those. And like, I don't think they were real. They might have been like a custom pair, but like in real time, I think you are the first person to influence my style. Even before I got into like creating my like own account, showcasing my fashion. Like I had the CDG Converse, I had the little 1-star joints, and like it was one other thing I remember, bro. But like, yeah, I always like to give credit and flowers where they do, because like I was like, no, he got that shit on, bro.
Appreciate you. That means a lot, for real. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Most definitely. And we go get into a bunch of that towards like the tail end of this, but I don't like to, you know, these people that be watching, they be wanting to know about the topic. So I'm like, let's jump into the topics and then we'll jump on the back end when it comes to, you know, talking about that. But I didn't remember your name. This is Joo Henderson here. That's how you pronounce it, right? Joo Henderson?
Yeah. Joo Henderson. Joe.
Okay. Bet that. All right, let's jump into this first topic.
What's up?
Let's see. Bow. Oh, there we go. All right, so this article title.
I just want to say, definitely want to say I appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you so much.
Oh no,
this is dope. No, I'm in awe just watching how you like work and everything and all that, tech savvy and all of that. Like, it's hard to keep up. This generation, man, going crazy, but it's inspiring though. It's inspiring. I love it.
Nah, I appreciate
keep going.
I appreciate that, and I don't even think like I don't even have the fine tunes to like what I'm doing. Like this is like only the third time I've done a virtual one, so like I'm still trying to figure out what's the quickest way to go about this and like streamline it all. But like I appreciate that though, for sure. All right, so yeah, this article title reads, Ye and Ty Dolla Sign, Vultures Volume 1 projected to debut at #1. You take a listen to this yet?
Yes, I did.
How you feel about it? Because people ragging on it like bad. Like they ragging on it bad.
I like it. Like I think everybody always been a fan of Kanye at some point, whether you hate him or you love him. He's always made great music. And Ty Dolla Sign, I always been rocking with Ty since early days. Like his approach to music is just so like refreshing. Kind of remind me of like a new age like Charlie Wilson, the way he like compliments Ye whole style. And for them making a project together, I felt like, you know, that's just peanut butter and jelly. Like it was gonna go so perfect together, and I think they delivered. And even on a deeper note, besides the music, like I just like the conversation around it. Like that Kanye is just stirring up with, you know, being like blackballed, you could say, still having a #1 album with like no playlisting, his album getting put on and put off different sites and stuff. But like, I just like the conversation around the music, because that's always going to be, as an artist, like I'm not a I don't make music myself, but as an artist, like you always want to champion people that are like, it's going to go against the mold and do things their way, and not let, you know, like these big companies just force us to do what they want us to do. I always respect artists that go and do what they want to do, however they want to do. You can't silence them, and just put out the art. Any artist, you, at the end of the day, without the money and the fame and the love, you just doing it just because you feel like you have to do it, like you have to put out the art. And I feel like they delivered. And music is like definitely like subjective. Everybody's gonna have an opinion, but like at the end of the day, if you get to put out your art and you happy with it, like you already won, you know. So I'm definitely proud of them, and I think it's dope. Like I'm bumping it right now, to be honest.
No, that's what's up. And it's kind of funny too, because I remember at a time and point where Ty Dolla Sign was a feature on everyone's song, and he kind of like took a step back from that. So it's good to hear, you know, because like they'll say like Ty Dolla Sign is like the parsley you add to your meal. Like he like their last finishing touches to make a song really work well. And like when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, nah, this is exactly why he's where he's at, bro. Like he definitely adds, and like it meshes well. Like it fits what Kanye's aesthetic is, and it fits like his sound and like his production. So yeah, I rock with it. I'll say like the top songs on that right now is like Keys in My Life. I'm definitely adding that. Paid, Talking, and then I think it's Vultures, and then Beg for Forgiveness are like the main ones where I'm like, no, that has replay value. But I don't think,
I like Beg for.
I don't think, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Do you think there's any album in music that is like completely unskippable? Because I don't think there's any album that I can listen to where I like everything front to back. There might be like 19 out of the 20, but the 20 is like, I'm skipping that. Like, so what do you, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. There's a lot of good classic albums, like, but it's funny that you say that. Artists do get kind of lazy on 1 or 2 tracks, or but I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like you probably right. You probably onto something with that.
Yeah,
like
it got
I never really liked them. But I do say there's albums that like stand the test of time. Like this album is definitely, I feel like it's gonna grow on people. I was like Watch the Throne, one of my favorite albums of all time, and I still think there's probably a skip here and there on that. But like, if majority of the songs is cool, I'll take it. Shit, we need more music these days. But like we thirsty for like good music. No point in saying, but like we need it. We need more of it. So I want to hear more of what they got coming, and I feel like this is gonna elevate Ty, and like Kanye is probably just gonna bring the best out of him, and I think he did, and I think he's gonna be even better like going forward in his solo career.
Nah, definitely. And I think the main critique that I've seen with this album is that thank God he's a great producer, because the lyrics are just whatever. And I feel like that comment might have some leg, because like production wise, you can't say nothing about it. Like he's one of the greatest to ever do, and will be solidified in that.
You'll never say nothing bad about him production wise, but I think people really just wanted more like shock value kind of like bars. But I think he had a lot of that in there, but I just think when it comes to Kanye, everything he says is shock value. Like you, at this point, if he don't say nothing, you feel like, damn, like what the hell? Like, is this even Kanye? So it's like, I think it's it's a good album. It's hard to judge albums as soon as they drop because I'm type to like I gotta listen to albums. I gotta experience it different places. I gotta go on vacation. I gotta go do a season. You know, like especially with Kanye albums, those albums they tend to like grow on you differently. Like I remember when 808 and Heartbreaks came out, like hearing that and like going through a New York cold winter, you felt that the album hit different. Like or hearing like Graduation in the summertime and like just hearing that play. So like I like to listen to albums in different seasons and stuff and letting it live. So, but first couple listens, I think this is gonna do pretty well over time, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's his. I would say that is like a part of his brand. A lot of the times when he drops music, like it takes a couple months and people go back to it and they revisit it. It's like, no, it's like he was different, bro. Like he was like doing things that a lot of people, especially now, which I want to know, and I'll come back to that, but I want to know like what's like your top 3 current artists and like artists of all time. But whenever that, I believe it was that Drake album that dropped and that Kanye one that dropped at the same time. It was like the black screen one, and it was the emoji one with Drake. I forget the name titles, but like
the Certified Boy, I think.
Yeah, like when CLB first dropped, it was like, oh, there's not even a question, bro. Like Drake's is way better because like it got the club plays, it got like everywhere you was going, you was hearing it because like it had those type of hits. But then you revisit the other one, Kanye, and you like, hold on, like it's actually going crazy. And it's like now I find myself playing that way more than I do CLB. Like there's some cool CLB songs, but like that Kanye was different. And I think it was just too new for what people are expecting and what they want.
Yeah, I think at the time, I think you're talking about Donda. I think that was like a more personal album. Like I think that was like near and dear to his heart. And Kanye usually makes music like that, like with a purpose. As per se, is like Drake is just like a hit maker. He gonna have the bangers, whether you're like you gonna hear it regardless of what. And I think they both phenomenal artists. But like it's to pick your poison. It's like whatever you into, whatever you feeling in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So who are your current, like who you bumping like on a regular? Top 3. Like put me on to something because I need some new music in my life.
Who I'm bumping on a regular, like top 3 rap wise, or just like artist period?
I'll say artist period because I'll listen to just about anything other than country. Like it got to be real good country for me to even tune in.
Well, I'm gonna always put Jay in there. Jay is definitely like probably one of my favorite rappers of all time, just because like some of the things he say on record is just like it holds so much weight. And in the time where like most rappers are just making up shit, just saying like anything that comes to their mind, like it's good to know that like a rapper like him, like when he speaks, it's powerful. Like things get changed, things get done. He talks about what he really lived and just longevity in it. Like a LeBron James in this game. Like I feel like all rappers should aspire to get, to have the longevity that he has. Definitely Jay, definitely Kanye. Kanye is another one for sure. Like when it comes to like overall artists, like I used to watch like just Kanye cook up in the studio along with like Pharrell. Used to watch their studio sessions just to like get inspired, just to see like the passion they had when it comes to like just creating an album. Like that inspired me so much, just to see like people putting together a project. I just love to see like a small idea turn into like super huge, like big passion project. So I just love stuff like that. Who else I'm rocking with? Man, my third, I will probably say, damn, that's tough. I would say Future. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I need that, like, that turn up, you know, that get you pumped up, you know. And I think he's just been consistent with just like putting out good bodies of work, like just bangers and bangers. He always come with those to get you just in that mood to say, yo, man, fuck it. Let me turn up. Let me get in my bag. I need that sometimes. So definitely gonna say Future.
Nah, yeah, that's a good little lineup. It's funny.
I like it. I like listening to all, like, I like listening to all kind of music too. Like, shit, man. Like, it's so hard just to think off the top because music's such a broad range, like from rock to like pop to like shit. Even like, yeah, it's just so, I got a lot of artists and a lot of bands, a lot of groups that I just love from even, I was born in 93. So like, I grew up like heavily like 90s. I even love with the 80s, like what was done in music, R&B, like that 90s R&B is just so timeless. Like, think like artists, every day an artist is sampling something from that time. Like, you just can't recreate the moments. The early 2000s, like, man, some of the best groups came out of early 2000s. Like, a lot of the dance culture came from that. Like, a lot of like that flashy, a lot of the styles we emulate now is just coming back in that time. And I can remember that as, like, since I was a baby, like, and that definitely helped me. That shaped me into the person I am now.
Nah, most def. Let me just say something. Please, all you new artists, if you go sample it, do it right. Because I've heard some terrible, terrible samples from like early 90s music from current artists. And I'm like, just put it down, bro. Like, it is.
We sample crazy right now, for sure.
No, sample crazy. And then we're also what's it called, like revamping or revisiting like old movies. Like, we keep trying to live in those times and not really creating that
new script.
Exactly. So now I feel you. Funny enough though, my top artists are probably gonna be the opposite of you, just giving like their history. But like all-time favorite rapper, Nas. All time. Like, bro is like ridiculous. I wrote a paper on his song called Rewind in college, where he's like, I spit a story backwards. It starts at the ending. Like, bro, like that song changed my life. I was like, no, he crazy. Nas all time, J. Cole all time. I'll say Mos Def. Mos Def might be in there because he introduces like that jazz, but like that hip hop and like just different flavors. Like, Mos Def is like heavily slept on. I think his name like Usain, like I forget his new name, but nah, Mos Def, his catalog is crazy.
Nah, that's a good lineup where you got there too. And that's crazy you said Nas, because Nas, like, even though like I'm a big J fan, like not too long ago I was listening like Ether and I just went on a long Nas, just going down his discography. And I'm like, man, Nas is so crazy. He's so cold. Like he was just so cold. And it's crazy that he's still like putting out music at a high level. And he's getting the like Grammys and recognition. I mean, I feel like people always knew Nas was like top 5, but so like, and Cole is like, come on, like from our generation, like one of those. Forest Hill Drive is just like, damn, like you could just think, you see that album, you could go back to that time you was at when you hearing those songs for the first time. So it's just like, it's dope, you know?
Nah,
and then Mos Def is just like, damn, more. Most, like, he's been doing this. He's been putting like hip hop on the map for so long that like a lot of people probably, like, if you're not a true hip hop head, you probably wouldn't even know. But like, he is one of like the fathers of this shit, like, for sure.
Nah, most definitely. So just to bring it back to Vultures Volume 1, within Kanye's catalog, how do you rank this one? Like 1 to 5? Like how paired up against his other stuff, where does this one fall rating wise for you?
I'm not gonna lie, like I'll probably put this at the bottom right before Donda. Like I'll put this right before Donda.
That's fair.
But I'll put this at the bottom because this is harder. Like, you know, you're never gonna recreate those times where you first came in the game and you first I think everybody got like graduation, college dropout, late registration at like they top, you know, but like shit, The Life and Times of Pablo, I think that's like such a
bro.
That's one of the crazy that you say from start to finish. I feel like you can bump that from start to finish and be like, okay, like not be annoyed, you know? But
I was in college when that came out. Oh my God, bro. That was, you hear that? Oh my God, that shit was fire. Now, yeah, you brought back some memories because I was in college when that dropped in. Man, you was hearing that everywhere.
Yeah, that was I think that's a slept on album too. People don't rank that high, but like Life and Times of Pablo, crazy. And for the amount of songs he had on there to all be fire like that, like, and I think like he was really rapping to go like bar for bar with Kendrick, to have like bangers with Rihanna and still have like real, like, you know, timeless records. Like you just can't, like, that's a sleeper album for sure.
You want to talk about banger album? You probably could to this day can still find somebody wearing that merch from that tour to this day. Like the merch from that tour was crazy. So crazy. You brought back some memories.
The whole rollout, like the whole presentation doing, even in New York in the Garden, just having like everybody there. I just think that was just so fucking fire. Like that was the time. Like you remember that?
Nah, I feel you. I was like around. People always be like, "Oh, my life was so great during 2016," because I feel like that's when it was. Like people just think about like that Lil Uzi era and like that Cardi and like just the music at that time was just like you can, I don't know, if you was of age to like remember that, like 2016 was a good year, and I feel like people be trying to shit on it.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was like the peak time for like going forward, looking back, actually, like, yeah, that was the peak time. Like, I don't think it will be another time like that, especially like mute and everything in the culture. Can't even just say music, like everything was hitting, and you know, nobody expected what was to come after that, but like, I'm grateful we lived it though.
Man, most definitely. But let's jump into the next article. Let's see. I'm so tired of seeing these damn shoes, but they the most trending topic everywhere. All right, so this article title reads, "The studded Wells Bonner Adidas Sambas are limited to 750 pairs." Now, you let me know, because every time people talk about these shoes, they talk about, oh, now you're just like a girl in New York who loves sneakers. Like, how often do you see Sambas, or especially like the Wells Bonner joints, just walking in the streets?
You know, it's crazy. Like, it's definitely a lot, but like when I think about those, like when I think about the Wells Bonner, like that brings me back to the time where like, shit, man, like I remember when like Adidas always had like great silhouettes. Like even when Stan Smith first came out, like everybody had a pair of those and stuff. And then it's just like I feel like every year or two, like it moved. Everybody just like, you know what, we on this now. But like Sambas is definitely running the game for sure. It's a cozy shoe. Definitely got a couple pair Canyon front. But it's definitely it's very hype right now too. But you know, it's crazy. I'm not too like, I'm not really feeling these ones. And they came out with a lot. They've been coming out. But I don't know. This might be a miss for me. I don't know.
The black is solid. Like, you could probably do a little bit more with it, but when I have to look at like the studs on the side and like picking this pair to be the pair that's so limited that they only have 750 is crazy, because like when I look at the studs, I'm like, you bedazzled your shoes out. Like, it don't really give like exclusive and like high quality. It's like, I don't know, it look kind of just like basic and kind of cheap, low key. But I've been a hater of Sambas for a long time though. I've been a hater of them. I don't really like them. I don't really understand the hype.
It's kind of hard to live up to the hype too. Coming off of that, like they just had like the like pony hair, the mohair type of joints, and even the metallic type of joints. Like just coming out with like so flashy, just to come back down to something like so like, you know, minimalistic, but like, you know, not really my vibe. I'll pass on these. There'll definitely still be 750 pair out there somewhere in the world.
Nah, they like, I understand like aesthetically. Like when I see people rocking them on Instagram, I'm like, okay, like that's how they're supposed to be rocked. I get it. But like just me personally, it's just like, I don't know. Like I'm more of like I like a lot of color. I like a lot of just like crazy silhouettes, and like these don't really just fall in line with what I like rocking. But I understand why they're so hype, but I just don't get it, because it's like I had a pair and like they were probably the most uncomfortable shoes I had at the time.
Definitely not comfortable, you know, but I still love them though. Shout out to Adidas, man. You know, I definitely like appreciate them and love them for that. But I don't know. Yeah, I could probably pass on these.
Yeah, these, I mean, we'll see. But then also like, I don't know how often you look at like secondary markets for like shoes like this, but like this shoe base price is like 180. And like when I was looking to get a pair, like not this pair, but like the BONNER Adidas in general, when I was looking to get a pair, bro, like it 180. And I understand the times we live in, but like for y'all to resell these at like $500-$600 is craziness. Like the resale market for basically anything, it's crazy.
Yeah. And that is crazy that you say that too, because I kind of feel like the resale market kind of killed the sneaker game. Like, it's not really like, sneakers just don't give you that like, oh shit, I need these, like that feeling, like, you know. And I understand we only got like one set of feet, you know, like, but damn, like I just remember like back in the day, just like, even when you brought up those old pair of Adidas I had, I'm like, damn, like I remember seeing those joints and be like, yo, I need to have these. And those were at like a reasonable price. So just to see where like the reseller game is at today, and then like, I don't know, kind of took the love out of it. Like, you know, you don't really get a lot of general releases. You get more stuff like this with like super limited releases, and you know.
Nah, I've talked about this. I think I've talked about this enough, and I think like on this platform, I think I've mentioned this a few times. But like, I just remember growing up when like collab sneakers would come out, it would be like a moment. It wasn't just like collab sneakers. Like in this week alone, I've seen maybe 10 to 12 collab sneakers from like big, like whether it be influencers or like designers. So it's like, back then, that was like a once a month maybe, or like you wouldn't see a collab sneaker. It was just all GRs. So it's just like, it's so interesting to see like how influx the game of sneakers have become, because like collab sneakers was like that. Oh, I need to get these because like this is a once in a few chance of this year that a collab sneaker is gonna drop. But now it's like every time you open an app or you look at a news article, it's a new collab sneaker dropping.
Yep. That's so true. That's so true.
But I do want to ask you though, since you did bring that up though, like that feeling, like take me back to maybe like one sneaker from back then where you kind of had that feeling like, oh, I gotta get these. Ain't no way I'm walking away without these. Like, or give me a time from in the past, but then also has there been a sneaker recently, I would say like in the past 5 years, where you was like, oh, I gotta get that. Ain't no question. I don't care how much it costs.
Well, I would say recently, I don't know, like nothing's really been like jumping out to me. For sure, I would have to say like, can't even say that. Yeah, I would have to just like go back deep in the past. Like I'm a like, when it comes to sneakers, you know, it's crazy. Like I don't even like the like super over the top crazy sneakers. I like give me a decent like a Stan Smith kind of like a regular Samba. I'll rock that. Like, you know, like my outfits be louder already being loud. So but sneakers wise, like I haven't seen like a dope sneaker in a long time that I'm like, damn, I just really need these. Like it's been some collabs. You know what's crazy though? Like the Louis collab that the Louis and Tim collab that Pharrell did, that was actually go like, wow, like this is really, really nice. Like that was refreshing to see, like, you know. And I know people like knock Pharrell from like not living up to Virgil standards. I don't even know how you could say some shit like that, but like, you know, but people just want what they want, and I get it, but like I just love that like he's going crazy with these collections now and just getting more like inspired and just doing things from like I know that he likes to do, you know, not what everybody wants. You know, there's only one Pharrell, and I just love that. Like he just in his bag, like, and that's some shit Virgil would have did with the Timbs. Like I feel like Virgil looking down, like, yeah, that's it, P. Like that's how you do it. But like besides those, like I don't know, I feel like the sneaker game's been very watered down. Like everything's kind of been like a joke. You've seen people like a year or two just wearing like the big red boots. Yeah, it's just like people put anything on their feet nowadays, like, you know. And I'm not like a big fan of like the Balenciagas, the super fashion kind of brand. I like to be comfortable, you know. So like I said, like I'll take a nice Samba. Like it don't even have to be no crazy lab or anything. Like something that just dope, something that pops out to me, like, you know. And to be honest, I don't really like wearing nothing that like anybody's wearing. Especially like just growing up in New York, just like being in the city all day. You could kind of just you spend one day in the city and like you can see the climate. You know what's hot, because if it's really hot, you'll see everybody with it. You see something different here and there, but like you can see a lot of the styles that people like gravitate to. Like you could see a bunch of Kanye's, you can see a bunch of Rockies, you can see a bunch of Pharrells. Like you can see you see now it's crazy. You even see a lot of these young guys like the Cardis. You see a lot of different styles coming in these days. But like me, I always try to like do my own kind of thing. Like I used to, growing up, I kind of like model my style after Pharrell, and I felt like I used to do it a lot. I used to study his style a lot until I got to the point where like I would be not around him, but in rooms that he would be in, and I'm like, man, if Pharrell came up to me, would he like how would he feel about my fit? Would he feel like I'm jocking his fit? Like I would want him to be like, man, like your style is fresh. like, you know. So I kind of like took from that and kind of like checked myself and say, you know what, let me like, what do I like, you know? Not more so what does like he wear or trying to emulate some of my favorites. Cause I seen like, even though you have like a Tyler, like he looked up to Pharrell a lot, but like he still has his own identity, and I just felt like that was so dope. So me, I just wanted to like create my own kind of like style and wave, and just kind of take chances and do things to me with style wise that I felt like, you know, that I truly like, stuff that I don't really see, you know, not too many people wearing.
No, that's real. And the question that I'm gonna follow up with that, just because like I get this question a lot, is like, how do you find that? Like, how do you find your own personal style? Like, a lot of people tend to like, they let like either a social media influencer or like it's like Lil Yachty, Cardi, or like Tyler the Creator, like they'll just like take their whole thing. But like, what advice would you give to someone that's like, I want to find my own personal style? How do I get to that? Or how do I start that path?
I would say, honestly, like try a lot. Take from it's, when it comes to like fashion, man, it's just not like an overnight thing. I've seen a lot of people come in this game. I've been doing this for a long time. Sound crazy. I don't want to sound like an old head, but I have been around for a very long time. So like, and I done wore everything. I done dressed preppy. I done did the grunge look. I done did the rock star look. I done did the like suit and tie. I feel like I went through a million different styles to kind of get to where I'm at. And fashion is like always evolving, like, you know. So I would say just like, literally like how everybody says, put that shit on, you know, just wear as many outfits until you're gonna find something that like feels comfortable to you eventually. Like, you know, that's what it really comes down to, like being comfortable. A lot of people wear clothes and, you know, you just feel like you're wearing a mannequin, like you walking outside feeling like a mannequin. You don't feel comfortable. You want to feel like natural as possible, but still be able to get a lot of compliments, you know? And 9 times out of 10, like you don't need a full outfit, like from head to toe to do that, you know? I seen people some days I done been outside and just got compliments on just my accessories, you know? A dope hat could do it. Like your hat is fly right now, like, feel me? Like a dope hat.
They be hating on my hats, bro. They be hating on my hats. They be dogging me for my hats. But like, the reason I ask you that is because like, I feel like I'm at that point now too. I don't mean to cut you off, but in my style, I feel like I'm at the point where like, I know what I like. And I'm not gonna veer off too much as I continue to go forward. So like, my basic uniform is like baggy pant, baby t-shirt, like I like a little crop. And then the goofy hat, like I just bought another one the other day. Like I just love goofy hats, and I feel like they just fit well.
That's fire though. That's fire though, because you know the hat game is dry as hell right now. Like, so the fact that like you taking a chance and like that shit, it look fly to me. It's the confidence, to be honest. Like, you know, everybody, somebody's gonna love it. Somebody's gonna, it's fly to you. Then that shit is fly, like, you know. And if you've been doing this shit for as long as I have, man, like, and I'm sure you've been doing it for a long time too. Like, you don't care what people have to say, and after a while, you're gonna have the people that love you regardless and champion whatever you do. So like, and then 2 years later, they'll be looking like back, like, damn, why you don't wear those hats? Those cool hats you used to wear, like, you know. It's always gonna be like that, you know, like. You kind of got to be like ahead of the curve, you know? Sometimes like people gonna clown you, and then 2 months later, like people dressing just like you, you know? And that happens a million times over, you know? So like, that confidence is always the key.
Facts. And I take it from, I don't know if you grew up in the area, so I'm not even gonna say you probably don't know, but like I used to watch a lot of Martin growing up. And when Cole would walk into the room and he'd have like the craziest hats on, I'm just like, nah, he cooling, bro. Like he going crazy with his hat game. Cause like, I don't think some of the hats that he was rocking I would wear, but some of them I was just like, dang, like where you get that hat from? Like that's definitely where I got the inspiration from, for sure. So it's just funny how style and fashion, just like your memory from like growing up and like TV shows and all that, especially in the 90s when they was really putting outfits together, like Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
That's so cool.
like all that, just like how much that was, you didn't notice all what
those
they were
90s
wearing.
Sitcoms, like those 90s sitcoms, they were just so fly, man. Like, damn, like style was just so like fresh. Like even down to like like they'll make blazers and a tie look cool. Like watching some like Kid and Play type shit, you just be like, damn, why is everybody in the fucking Kid and Play house party going so crazy? Fly? Like the whole party is fly. Like it's crazy to me. But like I love that.
Yeah, nah, like Living Single, Kid and Play, Martin, Fresh Prince. Dang, I'm slipping on one more. What's the name? Damn, I'm slipping. In Living Color. Like, bro, people just used to be, they used to be so experimental with it, especially for that time. Like, it was just, I don't know, like, you could just put on a TV show now, and some of that stuff is popping and trending now in fashion. Like, it's just crazy how the cycle of fashion works.
Yup, that is so true.
But let's jump into the next article. It's the last joint. Let's see here. All right, so this article title reads, MARC JACOBS to collaborate with Pharrell, Tremaine, and more to reimagine pieces from the brand's archive. When I first read that title, I wasn't like too impressed because I'm like, oh, like it's just them. Not saying like Pharrell and like the other people they mentioned aren't popping, but then when I start reading the article and it's like, you know, Cactus Flea Market or whatever it's called, like CNN
Market, they got Murakami. It's a star-studded lineup for sure.
And I think, you know, we're just in the era again, like of revisiting like things from the past. So like they open up that archive and they give these creatives like Pharrell, Murakami, and like Tremaine, like some of these pieces from back then. Oh, bro, I think this is gonna be, even though I wouldn't say like MARC JACOBS fell off, or like I wouldn't say like MARC JACOBS is not a good brand.
He's a legend.
It's not as a trending name as like a Louis Vuitton or like a Gucci or like you know, names that like just trigger these buzzwords because they built the longevity. But MARC JACOBS is like, you watch some of his runway stuff, it's fire. And I think this is gonna propel him to get a newer audience for sure. For sure.
And if you like really into fashion, like you can't even like without mentioning MARC, like what he's done. I seen like, I think like a year or two, like his card when he was like the creative director at Louis was just like trending. I'm like, bro, like this man's been around for so fucking long, and like that's dope that like all of his peers is like showing him love, and that just speaks to like how like talented he is, and at any given time he can turn up, man. Like I remember back in the day, I just wanted like a belt he had, like just to have like some of his accessories were so crazy back then. Maybe because I couldn't afford like all of the like dope shit he had, but like MARC always, and you know it's crazy now that like a lot of the, damn man, that just brings back so many memories, because I really remember going in like the MARC by MARC JACOBS store and just like seeing like all of those stuff and just be like, before I even had money to like go out and go shop for myself, I used to just see like window shop and just be like, damn, like this man is going so crazy. Like, but to see him like coming back, pull up, I'm gonna have to even go check out some of the pieces. I think it's gonna be very dope, to be honest. And like with this lineup, I think he's just only gonna get better. Just even seeing with like a lot of the collab stuff he's been doing with like Cactus, or just he's still very much fresh in now. So like I know he can turn up at any time.
Nah, definitely. The roster alone is like the 95 Bulls, 96 Bulls, bro. Like, this is a crazy lineup. Like, that Murakami stuff, I can't wait till it drops. And I think it's good that he's not putting and getting all these people on one collection. Like, this is going to be spread out over the year. So it's like, oh yeah, bro. I think this is going to be a monumental year for MARC Jacobs, because this lineup alone, even with just like, you know, like the Pharrell Tremaine and like, you know, you go on the Cactus and like the Murakami, and then like the list keeps going. It's like, God dang. They going crazy.
MARC, one thing about MARC, like he keeps like super fresh, creative designers with him. So like even his staff, like alone, he has like some super dope designers. Some of them are like popular, some of them like to be like in the shadows, similar to like Cactus, and I know a lot of her friends are like work with the designers of his team well too. So like I'm just excited. MARC knows what he does.
You brought up window shopping, and that took me back to, bro, I remember like when I was getting into and started caring about what I was rocking, it was like in high school, and window shopping on like Karmaloop was my thing, bro. Like Karmaloop don't get the credit, bro. I remember getting like Black Scale and like getting Rocksmith, LRG, and like all those other brands, like those streetwear brands. Like growing up, like I remember window shopping on Karmaloop, bro, and having a cart that was almost like $2,000. I'm like, bro, I need to get everything in here, even though I can't afford it. But Black Scale for me, like I know this is not about MARC Jacobs, but Black Scale was like, I need to get it. I like whenever that was like real big, I think it was like 2014, 2013, like when I was copping like the beanies and like they had the phone posits, like I think that was the Supreme phone posits and all that. Like that era, bro, like that swag era of fashion is just, that's like nostalgia, like at 100%.
I think that's as close as you'll come to like the 90s with just people, just everybody just like, I don't give a fuck, I'm wearing what I want to fucking wear. And just people, everybody's walking around so confident. Because like if you look back now, like a lot of that shit looked crazy, but like everybody was just so confident. And like, you know, like a lot of like, I feel like I can't wait till that comes back and a lot of people start dressing like that. Was like, that's gonna be funny.
The Tisa snapbacks and the extra snapbacks on the pockets and all that.
Bro,
that was an era.
I was just telling my friends, I was just like, I was driving through Soho. I haven't went through Soho in a little while, but I was like driving through like St. Mark's. I'm like, bro, remember we used to get the little rat tails over here and put them on our jeans, like the furry rat tails. I'm like, oh man, like what the fuck was thinking? Like people didn't give a fuck back then. Like style was just so fresh though. Like everybody wanted to be like so different, which is like we need right now, because it's like you could look at like your favorite rappers and see them on the streets. So, but like back then, like everybody just wanted to like be fresh as fuck and do whatever they want and wear shit how they want to wear it. Bro, like, it'll come back to it. I'm sure it will.
I'm talking like 4 to 5 I Love Booby bracelets, silly bands on the other hand, foxtail, like skinny jeans, acid wash. That's when people was cooking their pictures, adding the contrast up. Like,
it was a lot going on. Doc Martin, leather pants when they first came, Chelsea boot. There was a lot going on in that era.
God. I think another era too that I went through heavily was like my Bryson Tiller, like that long scalpel tees with the skinny jeans, the Chelsea boots, the Nike hat on real low. Like that was another era too where I was like, damn, now this is going crazy.
You throw that on right now?
Bro, if I had the time, I'll show you a picture. Like it, looking back at it, like you said, it's like, bro, what were we doing? But it was like, man, it was a time like that time everybody dressed like that, so it didn't seem crazy. Like,
yeah,
it's just funny.
I think everybody was taking a lot of chances, so it's just like everybody got away with a little bit, probably too much, but dope, though. That was dope.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's gonna wrap up the last article, and I think we definitely, bro, just like even just talking right now, we could chop it up about some other stuff too. Like, I think I'm like having nostalgia crazy right now about a lot of this.
Now, yeah, you just brought me back to some more with that. Like, that's crazy. Like, the more you think about it, it's like, damn, everybody was taking some chances, yo. Like, we were really wearing whatever the fuck we wanted to at that time.
So just first of all, I like to remind people, bro, I am not a journalist. I didn't go to school for journalism. I just like chopping it up with people that I think, like, if you was just like the homie, I'm like, we just chopping it up, just having a cool conversation. So like,
You're doing a great job.
I ask the questions I want to ask, but just through like, just, search engines and all that, like, there's not really much on you out there. Like, there's a few like, oh, born in New York and like all this stuff, but I definitely want to allow you to be able to pop your shit too. Like, so like, who is Joo Henderson? Like, New York, like, but let's, because I know people be repping their sections real tough, like, oh, I'm from the Bronx or I'm from X, Y, and Z. So like, who are you so people can get a better understanding?
Well, I am, needless to say, I'm Joo Henderson, born and raised from New York, Brooklyn, to be exact.
See, I told you.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn for sure. And I think even when you just say Brooklyn, like, that just shows you like culture. Like, that's all I was immersed into it. Like, from everything, just growing up, my older brother like just put me on so much game from like, early, like, like you said, like Nas, the J, like the 90s, the Bigs, the DMXs. Like, I fell in love with hip hop. And if you fell in love with hip hop, you obviously gonna fall in love with fashion. If you're gonna fall in love with fashion, you're gonna fall in love with everything else that comes with it. Music, fashion, film, everything, entertainment. It just kind of just goes. I immerse myself into this culture that we love today. I'm happy to just be a part of it. I don't really like pop my shit too much. That's why you don't see too many things out there on me on the internet. What you know, what you don't know. I don't really get a chance. That's why I'm honored to do this. I don't really do this a lot, to be honest. But like, it's always dope to just tell my story, because I feel like people always say it too, like, damn, like, I've been getting it a lot throughout the years, like, yo, you changed my life, or like, your whole generation, everything y'all brought to the table, like, it's just nostalgic as fuck, and it was just a time, and I just love that. Like, growing up, like, I chalked a lot of that stuff up to my teenage years, which is so fucking dope. Like, just going viral early on. But like, I remember just like the beginning of social media, like MySpace, like, like we were like one of the beginning of social media to now. Like, you fast forward today, you see dudes like Kai and like the streamers and shit. You just see where it's going, and just like, yo, this shit is just so dope. Like, just to see the evolution of like social media. Like, even you just saying the teaser snapback, that just brought me back to like, damn, like, jerking in LA. Like, I used to always want to go out to LA. Like, it's funny enough, like, I feel like a lot of my generation, like, we grew up off of Tumblr, and like, that's what out of our like inspiration, and just like, it was one big mood board for everybody. I feel like that's why like style was just so like, it was just, it had so much range back then, because it was just, everybody threw their ideas out there on the net, and you got to pick and pull, and just to see so many different cultures. Like, when I first came up on Tumblr, before the NYC cruise and all of that, the Valad salads and all of that. I just used to see like the LA culture and them wearing the Tisa snapbacks and seeing them jerking over there, and you just be like, damn, these dudes are so dope. They dancing in the street. They wearing like, they got their own swag, got the snapbacks and all that. So it's funny enough, that kind of like helped. That definitely helped us, like from a New York side point of view. That definitely helped us because we was like, man, we got something to say too. Of course, like we got some style over here. We got a whole wave over here too, and like just to see that like turn into what it came into, like, and we kind of like, I think, well, like when you mention like Tumblr, you always go back to like the New York scene just taking over it, and I just think that's so dope because when I first got on it, like LA culture was just so like that's what we were looking at. And I can't speak for everybody else, but I remember they had it for a very long time. I was just like, damn, what they doing over there, like from the fashion and music, the culture, like it's just so dope. And just to see New York come and like have our moment and have our time, like, which is fucking amazing. But I say all I just say, man, like, you know, I'm just like, I'm a man of the culture, like, and I'm an all around creative. Shit, man, like, I don't know, I do a lot of different things. I've done a lot. I'm 30 years old now, you know, showing my age, but you know, I've been around for a very long time, and I would say like in the entertainment industry, in front of the camera and behind the scenes, you know, my fair share of just, you know, being around and picking up and adding small pieces and just playing my role in where I have in this culture, you know?
No, definitely. No, that's real. I mean, I didn't even think that it would go that far, but like, that's a real answer, bro. And that's definitely going.
You know.
And that definitely is gonna lead into like my next question, because like I'm sure you understand now the gravity of, you know, what I'm about to mention, but like even back then, for something that was in New York to make it its way all the way, I'm born and raised Bay Area, so West, like on the West Coast, like something that was made in New York, created in New York, made it all the way to the West Coast, where like I'm even changing like my gamer tag name on Xbox to VLS, bro. Like it's crazy. So, and then like just, you know, Kai, you know, I seen you post that clip where Kai was like playing that song on one of his streams and like that doing numbers, like, yeah. And you still getting monthly plays on that. Like, so please walk me through how Valad Like Salad came into fruition. Like, how did that come about? Like, and did you think it was going to be what it is now?
Definitely did not see that coming at all. I don't rap, for people that always want to know, like I don't rap. I never went in a booth and recorded that song. You know, it's crazy. A lot of people think I went in a booth and like laid that, which is so crazy to me. I'm like, damn, what you would think, like as much as you hear the song now, like throughout the years, you would think like, damn, I probably went in the booth and fucking laid that, but I didn't. The story's crazy, man. At that time in New York, like I said, like Tumblr was just booming. Like creativity was just so all over the place. Like everybody was just inspiring each other. We just running around the streets of New York, in the city, you know. Like I said, I'm from Brooklyn. Like at that time, it wasn't like in the boroughs, there wasn't too many people that were like on that like wave, you know? So we kind of just, you know, the friends I made throughout the years, we kind of just like, you know what, we gonna go hang out in the city, you know? I didn't feel like, I used to always dress like differently and stand out. I try to stand out, you know, and I was always like kind of looking, people looked at me weird or crazy and all of that. So I was always used to that. But like in the city, I felt like I didn't get judged a lot, you know? So I would always just like go to the city to just like, you know, hang out and meeting friends out there, you got to like just be yourself more. So just being yourself, hanging out, just running around the city, cameras on. I don't even know who was recording, but like, you know, somebody was recording. At that time, like everybody had a camera. That's back when everybody got like the DLS, the big ass cameras and shit back in the day.
What's the DSLR?
Yeah, the DLS, whatever how you pronounce it. So cameras was always around, and you know, like I'm a jokester too. Like, you know, whenever I see a camera on in my face, I'm definitely gonna just like joke around and rap and stuff. So like I kind of just freestyled the, you know, the jiggy shit, like the Joe motherfucker. Like I don't know what made me think of it when it came out, but we put it on Tumblr, and it was kind of like a if you know started from Tumblr. Like I'm like, yo, this is the dance. Like, y'all got to do this dance. Like, it was kind of like an inside joke kind of thing. And it just kind of like, to see it like just grow legs of its own. And like, man, it got to a point where just like every borough was playing it. And then I'm like, bro, like, why is like, then it's not on Tumblr no more. It's like the hood dudes. I'm like, why do y'all know? Why y'all hearing it? Then I'm just like, everybody from different states. Like, yo, down south, I'm from Midwest, I'm from the West Coast. We bumping, we out like Sally over here too. Like we bumping.
No,
out.
facts.
Because one of my homeboys from Jersey, he actually makes like beats. So like he kind of took the beat, and which is so dope too, because a lot of people don't know the story. Like he hit me like, yo, Joe, I want to turn this into a song. That you're freestyling into a song. We put the beat over it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna put it on Tumblr. We put it out, and the song started going like viral, and it got a lot of traction. And eventually, it started playing on the radio. Like I'm hearing Funk Master Flex drop bombs on it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is getting kind of like out of hand. And at the time, Justine Sky, like we used to hang around a lot, and her mom is an entertainment lawyer. So she was like, Joe, you gotta do something with this record. They asked me like, do I want to be an artist for it? And I'm like, bro, like this was just always a joke. Like if you know, like I'm not no rapper, I'm not no artist, but you know. And I was young too. Like all we want to do is just get fly, and like I didn't even really care for popularity. Like at the height of the song, I got like so sick of it, because like everybody would come up to me and just be like, I like Tyler, or just dancing in front of me. Got to the point where I'm like, oh man. But like once it started playing on the radio, we took the song, got a license, and we started shopping it around to different labels. So that was like one of the weirdest times of my life, but like I love it though, because I was just like so young. I was 18 at the time, and we met with Ultra Records. They do a lot of like dance poppy kind of joint records, and you know, they asked me, they're like, do you want to like, you know, be an artist? Like I'm like, nah. They like, if you come back, they offered me a certain amount for the song, which at the time, 18, I never saw that kind of money in my life. And I'm like, shit. I go back home to my mom, and my mom was kind of like, man, I don't know. She was actually really upset with me at the time, because she was like, yo, what are you doing? She hearing the song now, like her co-workers is telling her about the song. And I'm like, bro, this is fucking crazy. I just graduated high school. My teachers that I just graduated, they telling me like, you got kids saying your name, because I was known as Joe in my. They like, yo, we're still hearing your name in the hallways. What the hell? Like, so I'm just like, I'm just going through like so many emotions, just so many things. And my mom was like, she didn't want me to do it, but I'm like, man, I'm 18. I'm like, I don't really like need you to do it. I'm just kind of like letting you know. Young and rebellious, you know. So I kind of went on with it, and Yeah, we signed the rights over to the song. Got a nice big payday for me and the dude. The dude was from Jersey, like that made the mix the record. So I called, which was so dope, cause like I called him up. I'm like, bro, can you meet me in like 59th Street in Midtown, like in the city, like in a day or two? He's like, what? And I'm like, bro, we're gonna get this record. Like they want to pay us so much money for this record. And he's like, bro. And I remember like us just being in the middle of 59th Street, like the big circle where you just got like all the monuments in New York, and we just sitting in the middle. I'm like, bruh, like, did you ever think this would happen? He's like, Joe, like, no, like, what the fuck? And then we went into the label, we signed the deal. They told me like, yo, if you come up with another record, we'll double the pay. And I'm like, bruh, nah, that's what y'all get for me. You know, it's crazy because like at that time, like, I didn't want that to be my like what I was known for. And it took me a long time to kind of shake that off, you know, like 3-4 years to kind of like die down, which is crazy. I wasn't a rapper, you know, and I didn't want to be a rapper. I didn't want to be a one-hit wonder, and I didn't want to be known for like, you know, I didn't want to take that route and just try to rap just cause to make some money out of it. But definitely the song, like, it helped blow up and definitely went worldwide. I just love to see people happy at the end of the day, like, just to see like people having fun and dancing to it and making videos from all around the world. And like, just people, even to this day, like over the last 12 years, like people still talk about it. Is just like that really means a lot to me, that I could make people feel good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, at the end of the day, like, that's what, when it's all said and done, you just want to leave, like, you want to leave behind something. You just want to be able to say you made people feel good. You made people feel away. And that's like a dope time in my life. Like, I learned a lot. I experienced like a lot of popularity so fast, so early. And I was always kind of like a popular guy, but like that much attention just like made me definitely go like, yeah, I don't want this. Like, you know, I'm not really like, you know, so I kind of like, I shied away from it as much as I could. It kind of made me like a more reserved person. Like, if you look back at those years, like I was definitely like way more outgoing and like dancing silly and stuff. But like after that, it definitely made me reserved. I couldn't go to like house parties and stuff. I'm still like a teenager. I'm 18. Like, you know, I couldn't go to no college parties without like people, just everybody looking at me when the song comes on and expecting me to dance or something. And then like people would be like, yo, I want you to perform at my graduation or this or that. Like, I'm just getting offers and I'm just like, bruh. Then I got a record label like, yo, we want to shoot a video. Like, I'm just like, bruh, like a lot of things happen so fast. But I love it though, because like, you know, it made me who I am. I met a lot of dope people do it. I got my start at Rockaware, which is ROC Nation now, you know, throughout that whole ordeal, you know. So it's kind of crazy because like without Valad Salad, like I definitely wouldn't be like where I'm at and going forward. Which is even a crazier story. Like, you know, like going from Valad Salad to my actual career, like it's so connected, which is dope. So, but that's definitely like Valad Salad, man. The song is streaming still. I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah. Nah, and getting probably the biggest person to ever do this whole streaming thing and causing that to even like, to him to play that song and then have his fan base, which are some of the most loyal people I've ever like, just looking from the outside, sure. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like these are some of the most loyal people I've ever seen. And now like you getting like listens off that in present day is crazy, bro. And the story is even crazier. Like I thought it was like it was geared towards like, oh, we gonna make this poppin', or like we go push this and like
it's all unintended. That's what's so crazy. Like I never rapped before a day in my life. before that. Like I never like I used to freestyle in high, you know what's crazy? Like people that went to high school with me like saw it coming because we used to do it all. Like I was a jokester. I used to do it all the time, say random crazy shit in high school, like before the cameras. So for it just to be on film, like a lot of people I went to high school with, like, yeah, Joe, like this is on brand. But like I could never thought I would really like that everything how it went, even like to see the younger generation now, like it's passed down. Like that was 12 years ago, like damn near, you know? Like, damn. Like, so that was a very long time ago. Like, yeah, it's going on like 11, 12 years. So like just to see the new generation with streamers now, there wasn't no streamers back then. Like this was YouTube before the ads. Like this was very early on. Like just to see like that, you know, it's just nostalgic just to be a part of New York history stamped as a New Yorker. Like I love it. Like, you know, like you anybody out here just like everybody just like, yo, could just remember how they felt. So I can only imagine how you felt wherever you was at or wherever anybody was at, like growing up hearing it at a party or playing dance around your friends. Like that shit makes my day. Like to like know that like, damn, I got people like, you know, like having fun, you know?
Yeah.
That was dope.
And I'll probably never share with until like maybe I crossed like a 100K threshold on YouTube. But I used to have a jerking crew, bro. Like back in the day, we used to be a crew,
everybody
and we used to go crazy. and there's footage, but I will never bring it out until y'all do something good for me, because that shit is crazy.
This wasn't live. You will have to add. You will have to throw that in
there. But then you said something too, which is a perfect leeway segue into the next question, because like you said, you went from that into how you got into like Rockaware, ROC Nation. And I don't say like, it's kind of crazy. It's like to be able to recall like certain memories of like being on social media, but like I watch people's stories and I don't follow many people. So like the people that I follow, like I probably see their stories more often than not. And like just seeing like your process with like, you know, you'll post like a picture of like the ROC Nation symbol, or like you'll post like the plane symbol, or like now I've seen you post like the BET thing. I'm like, nah, bro, really, he moving like, and it looks like it's real strategic too. So like, how did you get into like what you are doing currently, which I don't know what that is. So,
man, like the journey's been long, like coming off of like I said, having a viral moment at 18, like signing record deals, and I don't rap, just like meeting so many different people running around New York City with my friends, which was crazy because at that time, a lot of like my whole crew was just popular. Like we were just ending up on World Star for like talking and dancing. Like we had to like, it was a lot of shit going on, like, you know, in that whole New York scene. Like Virgil just got on the scene. Heron Preston was just still with Nike. Ben Trill just came out. My friend Glenn Brown did a Nike event, and Heron gave us all like the Yeezys, the Yeezy 2s, I believe, or 3s, whatever, which one. And we all got on the train, dancing, going viral with that, and just like viral after viral, just me and so many different like important figures in the New York scene, just coming up. Just like I said, we all just hanging out in the city. A lot of times, just like, you know, want to end up in these buildings, in these offices, but like, you know, you don't really know nobody. So just to start getting the recognition and going viral, you meeting people, you starting to like, you know, make business moves. Like I said, I'm doing record deals. Like, you know, I'm learning too, all on the fly too. Like that's why I always kind of like, I like that we're doing this, because like I want to pay the game forward. I think that's what it's all about, because we didn't really have that. Like a lot of things we had to do was just like learning off the fly. Like, feel me? Like I didn't go to college, so it's like I didn't get the school structure, how to do things. I kind of like had to work twice as hard as damn near everybody, you know. But man, like I met my mentor to this day, Just C. He started at Rockaware, and I started like just helping him out and like, you know, assisting him at Rockaware at the time. And it's crazy because at that time at ROC Nation, I couldn't even say, like ROC Nation was just starting. It was just a thing. You hearing about like the J. Cole's and the Rihannas. You got Rockaware still in there, but like we're transitioning into like Paper Planes. We want to get that off the ground with Emory Jones. And I'm 18 years old. Like I'm coming in the building, and you know, I'm just a viral dude. But my OG just so like, he got so much love for me. Like, man, he just wanted to see me win. And I'm like, man, I just love fashion, man. I just like being fly. So, you know, like at the time my mother was like, go to school, go like, you know. But I'm like, man, I'm already in these like buildings, you know. So I had a long talk with my OG about it, man. He's just like, you know, do, you know, go at your own pace, do what you feel comes right to you. And I knew that not going to school, I would have to like work twice as hard. And, you know, I was up for the challenge. I started as, man, it's before even assistant, I was just like helping around, just like steaming clothes, learned everything under the creative director, you know, how to steam clothes, how to design, how to do lookbooks, how to do cat sheets, how to like literally all these things early. I'm so blessed that I got to do it so early too, at 18, when I should have been in school. But and just working my way up through the field, you know, and it's so crazy. Man, at that time, like I said, ROC Nation was just a like bubbling thing coming up, and Rockaware transitioning into like Paper Planes. And at that time, like BBC was in the building. Pharrell had just sold BBC to like Hove, so like BBC was in the building, and I just always wanted to like be close to Pharrell, because like, you know, like Pharrell was just like that guy to me growing up, and like I always just like emulated everything he was doing. So like anywhere to be close to him, I just felt like, all right, man, I'll make it. Which is crazy because like Jay was always like one of my favorite rappers, my brother's favorite rapper. So like I heard every Jay song growing up. Like that was just instilled in me. So to be where I was, it was just like at 18, just like, bro, like being around Hove and being in these offices, just like seeing him, and then just getting on the train and going home. And like at that time, just so much. I like as an 18-year-old, I felt like life was not real at that time, because I just felt like I was just super popular in the streets. I would get stopped everywhere I go. But in the office, it's just like nobody really care about that. You know, it's real celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned the world very fast. Like, you know, like I learned how to be very humble. That's why I think I'm as humble as I am now. Because even at like the height of my popularity, like, you know, I've been around actual celebrities, you know, like, you know, and at the end of the day, it's all about the work you put in. Like, who cares if you went viral? What can you do next? What can you do next? You know? So the ROC definitely helped me with that, like just hone my skills and just like help teaching me into like being a man and like learning how to maneuver through the business, you know? From the music and fashion. I'm just so lucky I even got in the building, you know, at such a crazy young age. And like I said, I'm 30 now, and I done had a long history with ROC Nation. I helped start up Planes like from the beginning. With I'm sure you've seen like the logos around everywhere. You know, I was in them like early beginning stages of that, just helping like just create the whole vibe and, you know, the whole aesthetic of what it is now. And just to see what that grown into is just like even crazy in itself too. It's just like, wow, man, like I never even thought that, like, you know, like I wanted to do something in fashion, but I never thought like, you know, I'll be a part of some like, you know, a brand that just like the holy grail. Like these are like, you know.
Yeah, has that name, has that weight behind it. Yeah.
So to have like my OGs be like the OGs is just like so dope, you know, and they helped me a lot in my career. Definitely moving through my 20s, like, you know. So fast forward from that into like around the pandemic, I would say I was like the creative director of Planes, you know. It was just like, I was like crazy, like people throw titles on. I was marketing and all of that. Like I've done it all throughout Planes. So I kind of like helped keep the brand afloat throughout the pandemic, shooting a lot of like lifestyle pieces, just creating mood boards and shooting product and just coming up with different eras, just bringing a lot of models, different people, creative directors, photographers, dancers, all type of people to like, because it's a lifestyle brand, you know, entertainment and fashion. So you wanted to bring all of those cultures and just wove it into one. And I've just been so fortunate in my career just to like already know all these different type of people, especially throughout New York, to have everybody just like at my fingertips, so I could just call on this person, that person, that person to help make my life a lot easier. And shout out to like all of my homies, my homegirls, all my friends that like definitely helped play the part in me ascending in my career. So I definitely helped out with a lot of the marketing in ROC Nation. And going forward with that, like I kind of fell in love with production because I was doing a lot on the production side, like just getting organizing shoots and being in the studios, paying models, figuring out invoices, teaching people how to like, you know, fill out an invoice and like, you know, just being like now I'm like the OG. So like and I just wanted to help, to be honest. Like I just want to always open the door for the next generation because it wasn't really too many people doing it for us. Like I said, I had my OG and like that's what I was just brought up off of. Like he was willing to help me and brought me through the doors, and I just wanted to do that for a lot of people too. So I kind of fell in love with production, doing a lot of studio shoots and shooting a lot of videos. And going forward in production, you know, just I wanted to do it, but I didn't know my way in. But like the cool thing about New York is just so dope. You just know a million people for no reason. Like you just know everyone. And one of my homies, he was doing production and filming TV, and he was just like, "Yo, you want to act?" And I'm like, "Nah." Like I had my fair share of being like in front of the camera. I'm kind of good on that, but I'm like, you know, I do a lot about behind the scenes work, you know. And I was like, bro, like production, just like kind of like fell in love with it, you know. One of the first shows I worked on was Wu-Tang. Shit, man. That then went to Law and Order. To shit, man. I done worked on a bunch of shows, and it's crazy now because like I can't even remember. I done worked on a lot of different shows, a lot that are like shows, like iconic shows, and like shows that are dope too. Like, I can't even remember it all. Last year, actually in 2022, I worked in a movie, Dumb Money, that just came out recently, doing wardrobe styling. So like the same way I approached it with Dr. Rock is I approach production, like, you know, and in the same way, like I've been my whole life, you know, if I see a door open, I'm just walk through it, you know. So like I started from the ground up and just worked my way through these fields, and like, you know, networking is always the key, you know. Like people always ask me like, how did you get here? Like, how did you do all of these crazy cool things? And it's always about networking. Like it's always about getting the first and last names. It's always about getting the phone number. It's always about getting the email, and like being a impressionable, good dude, you know. Like, you know, you always want to do good business. Anytime you work with somebody, you always want to like leave a lasting impression. You always want to work hard. You know, at ROC, I learned so much. Like I said, being 18, fresh out the street, being around 40-year-olds and 30-year-olds that like people who have college degrees, been in school 4 or 5 years at 18, working alongside them, I knew all I had to do was work because I didn't have nothing else on my resume. I couldn't get me nowhere in the real world. So working hard was always like my MO, and I always just had to like go 110%, you know? And I feel like that helped make the transition from like fashion into production, even though it's all kind of the same thing. Like, you know, now I freelance a lot. I do it because after ROC, I was just kind of like, I want to grow, and they want you to grow too. My OGs, they don't want you to be stagnant. They don't want you to be like, you know, and I'm still like the baby bro. Like, I'm probably been around the longest in ROC Nation, which is crazy. Like, I'm like the little bro. This is crazy because I never even imagined that. But like, they like set me up in my career. Now I'm in my 30s, kind of pivoting into production, but like tomorrow I could go in a whole different lane. It's all about growing, and that's why I said I'm an overall creative. Like, a lot of people don't know what I do. I'm not really like in it to like be braggish or to show off my like portfolio, even though a lot of people like, yo, you should be more out there and do more of that. But like, I'm a natural creative, man. I just like doing cool shit. Like the shows that I done worked on, like I grew up off that. Like Rockefeller, like I grew up off that. So to be at ROC Nation, like just to like, you know, all of these things, the movies, like I love, like I actually love what I do, you know, the music, art, fashion, it just like literally is like me to the core. And when you've been in it so long, you're not so jaded as much. You just, you know, put your head down and do the work. So, you know, that's...
Nah, that's, bro, I swear to God, that is exactly the answer that I wanted. Like,
very long answer, but...
Because, like, I think we also live in a time where people want more information. And, like, for so long, you thought X, Y, and Z person was a person that was doing it all. But then you get behind the scenes and that they really, like, I'll say the quickest example I could give is, like, people write their music. Like, oh, I thought you wrote that song, or I thought that was you on the vocals. And it's like, no, that was somebody else. And now that person who had been doing that stuff for so many years is starting to get the recognition. They're not the celebrity. They're not making all this money. The person in front of the camera or who they thought did it is a person. And I think now the tide is kind of shifting. It's like, people want to know, like, if you was at an integral part of, you know, the ROC Nation thing, even though you may have just been this person, like, every piece matters to tell the whole story. Yeah. So I think that's important for you to tell that, but then also tell like the valid like salad thing, because like, although it's like you didn't want that to be like your main thing, that is like something that I think people want to know, like, where did that originate? Where did that come from? Like, how did you even, because again, me being on the West Coast, exactly, like me being on the West Coast, I'm like, oh, they did that because it was like, they was strategic way. They was trying to set this up, and then, but you like, nah, it was just on the fly. So it's like, it just is dope hearing those stories, especially like, again, for me, you know, being the age I was when that was coming out, because I was born in 96. So I forget how old I was, but like something that I can vividly remember, like it's not just like a distant memory. Like I remember hearing that and then changing my gamer tag to Valid Like Salad and then like whatever like the new name was for me. But nah, that's exactly what I wanted. So absolutely. And then the last question, again, just something that I've noticed on your story, which I think would be powerful to talk about, especially within our community, is I noticed that did you completely kick smoking, or was it just, okay. So like, walk me through that. Why was that so important for you?
Man, that was like so important, man. Like the last 2 years of my life, it's just been like very like eye-opening. Like I said, I just turned 30, so you know, like you start to like think differently. I feel like I've done literally it all in my 20s, had a great ass time, and in 30s you kind of like, you know, you want to take a different approach, and you kind of want to live life differently, you know. I always felt like I was a strong-minded person. Like when people ask me why did I quit, like I always felt like I was strong-minded and I could quit at any time. Because when I started, I can't say nobody made me do it. You know, I did it because I wanted to do it. And you know, I never wanted to be the person and like, I never wanted nobody to be like, yo, you the reason I smoke, or you influenced me. Like I never wanted to be that way. So fast forward to right before I quit, I kind of felt like, you know, if I think I'm this person, like if I think I'm so like I have such a strong will, and you know, like the mind is powerful, you know. Everybody always says that, like the mind can do, you can do whatever you put your mind to, and I always felt like that. So I always felt like if I was so strong-minded, then you know, like let me put my mind to the test and let me see if I could quit. And man, that was like a journey. And I tell people, you know, it's crazy. Like when I first put that out on social media, a lot of people was like super shocked because a lot of people did not know I smoked. Because one, I never promoted. I never felt like that was a cool thing to promote. You know, I always did it on like, you know, my recreational time. But like, I felt like it was important to put out there because I know a lot of people smoke and a lot of people going through that and want to quit. Because I wanted to quit for a long time, but I always kind of bullshit. Like, you know, I'm going to do it when I do it. Like, until I finally say, you know what? One day, woke up, cold turkey, I'll throw all my shit out, and I'm done, you know? Let me see if like I could really do it. And, you know, it's crazy. It was February 7th last year when I threw out my tray, weed, all of that, papers, lighters, all of that, you know, and I haven't popped no weed since then, you know? And that first 3 months, like you go through hell. Well, I could say for me, I was on like YouTube, like just watching reviews of like people that quit, and like, cause my body was just going through it. Like I felt like I definitely was not sleeping. It was hard to go to sleep. Then when you finally like do get sleep, like your dreams start rushing you. I didn't realize like you're not having a lot of REM sleep. So like all of that rushes you back. And I didn't realize too, like, damn, like I haven't dreamt in a long time. Like when you smoke, you usually just like pass out. And I don't remember. And I ask a lot of people that smoke and they you know, it's crazy. Like I haven't had a dream in a minute. So it's like, damn, I didn't realize like, so my dreams were just rushing me vividly. And it was like fucking with me. Insomnia was fucking with me, sleep pattern, eating pattern. Like when I used to smoke a lot, like I would eat probably like once a day. Now I'm eating like 3 meals and snacks. Like now I eat a lot of food. Like my whole body has changed. My face has changed, everything. Like, you know, I feel like I'm more outgoing, more like back to my like your normal. You want to get to your purest form of yourself. You know, we wasn't born with our vices, you know. You want to get back to that, you know, as how you came in the world. So I feel like I'm getting more to that, like my natural self, you know. But yeah, them first 3 months was definitely like a journey for sure. Like you go through the motions, you feel like you're a crackhead for sure. Like you cold sweats, all of that. But like if you got a strong mind, and it does take willpower for sure, because out here in New York, like there's a smoke shop on every block now. Like weed is just in your face. It's just so advertised now. And so you definitely have to have a strong mind. But once you kick it, like it's like your mind is like Yo, it's so crazy. It's like you living in a different world. People that smoke, they live in a different world. Like, you literally live in a different world. Like, you're on cloud nine. Like, that's what I call it. Like, you really on cloud nine, because people that don't smoke, you looking at the world through a different lens. Because most smokers is like, damn, how can I go through a week without smoking? How can I go have fun? How can I go to a party without smoking? How can I go to a club without smoking? How can I go to my favorite show? How can I watch my favorite show without smoking? So it's like everything revolves around it. And then people that don't smoke, it's just like, man, like, I don't know how to explain it, but you could just do it. Like, you could just just go, like, so it's like literally two different worlds. And I see it now because I've been on both sides. Because I used to be one of those people like, bro, like, I used to ask people like, damn, like, you could smoke? How the fuck did you do that? Like, how the fuck, like, And then I've been on the other side where people ask me now, and it's just like, bro, like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, just quit, just stop, And I know it's harder said than done, but like, maybe I must be like a strong-minded person. But like I said, the mind is everything. The mind is powerful. Like, whatever you put your mind to. And I've always been like that my entire life. Like, if I'm really going to do something, I'll do it. So, yeah.
Nah, that's fresh. I think that is so powerful, bro, because I think a lot of people are in denial about it. They think like I understand there's things that can be, a vice that's worse than smoking weed. Like you said, crack, or like, things that are like stronger. But I don't think people realize that that's still a vice and it still consumes your life. And, you talk about, you getting older and you trying to save money, you trying to put it away, be able to, build a family, take care of your peoples. But how much money is you spending on weed in a week? How much money you buying backwoods, papers, lighters that go missing every other day? Like, all that stuff. And you, like, if somebody had an expense sheet for their weed habit, they'd be like, dang, like, I didn't know I spent that much money on this. And it's like, it's
so much money throughout the years on weed. And funny thing is, like, weed is so expensive nowadays. I'm like, man, I'm glad I quit. Like, this shit is just getting more and more expensive. But
yeah, and I think I have a different view because I've never smoked ever. So like, again, when you say like, when you was like, oh, like, why can't you do that? Like, without that, like, why can't you eat without smoking? Like, why can't you just enjoy this without smoking? Like, that has literally been me my whole life. I'm like, bro, like, you don't need to. And like, then people get defensive on me, like, oh, you think you better than me and X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no, but like, you literally just said you can't eat food until you smoke. And it's like, that sounds crazy.
Most smokers don't realize that they're definitely addicted to it. And, I could say, I said it even when I knew I was addicted. Like, right before I quit, it was getting really, really bad for me. I knew I was, I was like a functioning smoker, but I just felt smoked out because that was just all I would do all the time, and you don't want to feel like that. And most smokers, I know they don't want to feel like that all the time. Like, if sometimes in a moment it feels good and all that, but after a while, like, nobody wants to waste money on paper you're burning away. You're literally burning it away. You're smoking all your money up. Nobody wants to do that. But like, it's a habit, and the habits become addictions. And if you slip into that, you'll look up and years later, you'll be like, damn, I wasted so much money on it. And there's so many vices out here nowadays. And like, especially in New York, just like the pill culture, drug culture, lean culture, like everything, like it's just all around you. So you wouldn't even think to like, yo, let me get off this because it's just all around you. But at some point you gotta like take a step within and be like, you know what, where am I at in my life? Like, do I want to have kids and still be on this type of shit? And like, do I want to like, grow older and still be doing this type of stuff? doing the same things I was doing in my early 20s, you know, like I want to kind of switch it up and do things differently. And I always thought I had a strong mind. That's why I feel like I tell people like, yo, man, you can definitely do it. Because I did it, and I'm pretty sure somebody else did it, and somebody else did it. But you have to want to do it. You have to have the willpower. Like at the end of the day, like you wasn't born with it, so you can get off of it. You know, you just have to like put your mind to it. You know, you won't die. You in literally a month or two with it out of your system, you start thinking differently. You start moving differently. 2 and 3 or 4 months out of your system, you'll start looking at weed smokers like, damn, I used to do that. Damn, I used to feel like that. Damn, I used to do that. And 5, 6 months, we don't even crush your mind. Like now it don't even, people smoking in front of me, I'm not even thinking about weed. I'll smell it and I don't even care, you know?
No, that is, I'm telling you, bro, that is gonna get, I'm not even saying like smoking weed is bad, but then it definitely can't get to a point where it's consuming you a little too much and it's costing you financially. So I think that message alone, you know, however many people watch this and make it to this point, it can definitely, you know, hear your testament and be like, oh, like, nah, I feel, bro, I see what you mean. And like that may help somebody.
And if you out there, man, quit that shit. Cause it's not, you ain't cool. You know, I never did it to be cool. The only time I put it out there that I smoke is when I quit, just to inspire other people to quit. So it ain't nothing cool about it, wasting your money on a vice. If it was alcohol, it ain't nothing cool about it. If it was heroin, it ain't nothing cool about it. We all got to kick these vices, you know? All you need is, in this life, yo, is nothing but ups and downs. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. So fucking what, you know? Live it. Go with the punches. You don't need a vice. You don't need to like fall into your addictions because you're going to use those as crutches and ain't like, you know, you could succumb to that, or you could be like, you know, you gotta rise up and be like, man, I'm a thug through this shit, you know? And at the end of the day, I save a lot more money, you know? And I'm more clear-headed. I'm actually like, you know, like super more aware. Definitely like, yeah, I can't even really say any good things about it. Like, you know, and I used to be one of those people like, no, I'm functioning, you know, like I'm more clear-headed, it makes me more creative and all of that. Like, no, you can do all of the same things without it. You could be who you are and start to actually feel like yourself again. You know?
Nah, that's what's up, bro. I think there's been a lot of gems in this video, bro. And again, this is crazy because like, again, I used to follow your account and be like, oh yeah, I'm about to go get the CDG Converse. I'm about to go get the Stan Smiths. I'm about to go get the ZX Fluxes.
That's crazy.
So to get to this point where we even just chopping it up like this, like I appreciate that highly. But that's gonna wrap up this Kloth Talk. And without further ado, like I always do, I'll catch y'all in the next one.
But I love the way you work it. Hey, I love the way you work it.